I just knew that there was something else out there. I just knew that there was more than Linfield, Massachusetts. You know, sometimes we just need a kick in the ass and we need to be reminded. I mean, I can remember sitting in the hospital with you, and it probably wasn't the best time to say this, but I was just like, Zachary, you have got to get your shit together. This is another lesson of how you need to pay attention. You were like, so I need to be pulled out of a firing, burning car? And I was like, well, apparently so.
You know, to have someone in my corner like yourself who is going to keep it a buck with me, keep it real, keep it raw, tell me when I'm fucking up, even if I don't want to hear it and accept it. There's been times where I'm just like, I'm so mad that you said that, but I'm just like, damn, I needed that. And it hit. It's like
how many times have I said to you, pay attention to the signs? Like, hello?
But that's so hard to hear. I'm also the kind of person that you'll say, look out for the signs. And I'm like, where?
Like Grandpa Bob. He used to like look out the window and be like waiting for the light post to blink or something. Everything's a sign.
How do you know the difference between a sign that's positive for you and a sign that's sent from the devil?
Well, my mom was a crier. Like, I got caught cheating in high school on a history test. And I remember her looking in the window going, oh, you know, like it was the worst thing that ever happened to her. That my daughter got caught cheating. I could have cared less. And that bothered her. Like, why didn't I care more? You know, I wish I had more grace for her and the sadness that she was experiencing. How sad was it for her to lose her child? She was a mother and a wife since the age of 18. She didn't know anything different. First of all, I get people who will say to me, how do you stage your house? Like, what exactly do you say? I say whatever I want to say. Like, there's no script. It's all about whatever is comfortable with you. You said, why didn't you do it differently or whatever? I did it the way I wanted to for me. I chose me.
Well, I'm excited. I'm really excited. This is...
Well, honey, you know what?
What?
Ever since you were a little boy, back in the day, when reality TV was a thing, I mean, I know it still is, but when it was kicking off, people used to say, you and Zach need to do a reality TV show. So I guess this is the modern day version of that.
Yeah, I guess. But, well... Yes and no. I would say it's the modern day because it's the hip thing. But at the same time, I feel like people will get on these pods and they'll put on a front, like a facade.
Yeah.
And I guess people will do the same on reality TV too. But
well, reality TV, a lot of it is scripted. But
yeah,
I think what made them, I think what made them is just the stories, the things that we've experienced, the funny things that happened. You know, just silly things that happened. And it's all part of the journey that brought us here, right? I mean.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy. I mean... You yourself have been through a lot, and then you gave me that blessing and curse at the same time. And so it is a beautiful thing. But, I mean, here we are. Would you now, well, did you ever think that we would do something like this between you and I?
You know, it's funny because I feel like, you know, when people would say, oh, you guys could do it, you should do a reality TV show, I used to think, wouldn't that be kind of fun, right? Like, and then I thought, I don't know if I could ever just let cameras be in my home, you know? Mm-hmm. But, you know, we've been talking about this podcast thing and stuff like this for a long time. I mean, this didn't just pop up out of nowhere. It's just that most recent events was the catalyst to it. And we were like, we really need to do it at this point, right? Like, there's definitely a calling for it at this point. But it's not like we just woke up yesterday and said, gee, let's do a podcast. It wasn't like that. Yeah,
we didn't, but the way that we made it happen was like we woke up one day.
Well, that's because you have to. I mean, you know, being decisive, right? Like, I mean, we're either going to, that's what I said to you, right? We're either going to do this or we're not. Like, we're not halfway in. Like, we're not going to put out one video and then we're gone. Mm-hmm. That would not make me happy.
Yeah.
We're either going to do this or we're not going to do it.
That's awesome. Well, guys, hey, welcome to the Made for More podcast. I am Zach, and I'm with the other host of the show, my beautiful mother, Christina. And guys, this has been something that we have wanted to do for, like we just said, that we've wanted to do for a very, very long time. And given recent events and just how the aligning of the universe, now here we are to this day, and it's actually coming to life. And the cool thing about it is I I don't want to say it flowed, but when it aligns, it happens so naturally and easily. I mean, the table's perfect, the setup's perfect, the lighting's perfect, you're perfect.
Well,
So-
but you know what? It's like I said, when I bought this house, everyone was like, you have that big house and you live by yourself. It's a big house. Like, why are you in that big house? I mean, none of us knew that it was going to all of a sudden become pretty small.
Yeah.
Right? Like, who knew? Like, if you look back at the events of your life, you could probably go, that's why that happened. That's why that happened. Oh, I get it now.
and
And this is one of them.
But that's what's so crazy about it, right? It's like we have to go through the shit and then we realize the blessing on the other side.
Well, yeah.
But why do you
It's the
think
yin
that
and-
is?
It's the yin and the yang, right? You can't.
So for those who don't know really what that is, like what is your definition or explanation of what yin and yang is?
So it's the good and the bad. So like, you can't imagine having a life of just all blessings. Like,
I'm thinking of some people.
yeah. And then, it's like you go, what do they have to look forward to? I mean, you and I've talked about that before too. Like, you've talked about how you've had people in your life in the past that have everything. It appears to have everything,
Yeah.
money, cars, homes, the whole bit, but yet they have nothing, right? And so
Now, when you say, and I don't mean to chime in, but when you say they don't have, when they don't have nothing, because they'll have material things.
Right.
But when you say they don't have nothing, what are you referring
Well,
to?
I guess it just depends on the individual as to what you think is a blessing versus what's not. I mean, our version of a blessing is this, the dynamic of the family. You've got a great support system, good friends, love in your life. I mean, what would be the point of having like all the stars align, have an amazing home, cars, money, like no worries in the world, but you have no love in your heart, like nothing to look forward to,
Yeah. So in your opinion, like what does, because it's called Made for More.
Yeah.
So what does that mean to you personally?
So I think in my opinion, so Made for More, right? I think that we as individuals are here. We're not just people. I mean, we're not just like our jobs. We're not just moms. We're not just dads. We're not kids. We're not just our parents. We're not just, there's more to life than what your immediate is. And I think that some people are challenged with different things. And if we're all given a beautiful gift, and the gift is to spread the love, right? Spread the knowledge, and when I think of Made for More, I don't think of like, oh, I'm supposed to be like an executive, or I don't mean it like that. Like, I just think that we're here to do more in life. Some people are made to march the streets, like Martin Luther King. Some people are made for, representing different, diverse properties. But I mean, there's all different types of what you're made for. And then there's people who just want to share love and experiences and all that kind of stuff. And
So when we were talking about actually doing this podcast, and guys, like really the reason why we did this podcast is we wanted to honestly help those people that honestly felt stuck and felt like there was no way out, or that this is the life that they're currently living is it, right? And helping those realize that they are made for more. So with that being said, I want to personally ask you, like, I've been thinking about it. When did you realize that you were made for more?
when did I realize? It's been a journey. I mean, it's not like I woke up one day and I was like, oh, I'm this superior being. I mean, I still don't even think that. It's not that's not the intention of that. But it's about just knowing that there's more to life, right? Like your regular routine. You get up every day, you go to work, you come home, right? You live your life. If you're raising kids, you're raising your kids or whatever. But what happens is you start to talk to people about your experiences or the things you've done or whatever. And then someone goes, oh, you have such a great voice. You should talk about that, or you've got such great ideas, and you're always such a good advice giver, or whatever the situation is, right? And so when you hear that over and over, you go, well, maybe it's time to share that, And so I've shared that with you. I've shared that with my friends. I've shared it with a lot of people, and there's a lot of people who think it. I can remember Kelly, even back in the day when we were in high school. Kelly used to say, you should be giving advice. And not that this is an advice channel, because it's not. I don't want to be giving advice.
Yeah,
but
guys, sorry to cut you off, but we are coming as our real, raw, authentic self. We are not trying to be perfect. We're not trying to put a front on. We are just being Zac and Krissy and just sharing our journey and experiences to help those that need help. So continue.
Yeah. It's not about giving advice or trying to tell someone to do something or any of that. But I say that because that just shows how long it's been something that's been ongoing. So, but I don't know. I think when you started to have your awakening is when I realized we're onto something here.
What event would you say was my awakening? From your
awakening?
Yeah, from your perspective. Because I will say, here's the thing. And for those who don't know, I've been through the ringer. So have you. And everyone else has. My shit, I'm not saying that I've been through worse than others, because there's people out there that have been through way worse.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, at my age and what I've been through, I would consider it a lot for most people, right? Yeah. But when I say my breakthrough or realizing that I was made for more wasn't probably what you think it was. So I want to ask you, when did you think?
I think it started when you were trying to figure out where you fit and
during school?
No.
Okay.
No. When you were trying to figure out your job, and that's still something that's your journey. You're still trying to figure that out. But I think it started after McKenna was born. But I don't think that was the catalyst. I think your most recent events was the catalyst.
Then I am incorrect, because that's when I was like, okay, truly I am made for more when that happened.
It's interesting because when I've told people what happened, they say, oh my God, Zac's made for something. He's supposed to do big things. And I never said that to you because I didn't want to put that pressure on you. It wasn't until you came to me and you said, your words exactly were, I know I was handpicked to experience that. Yeah. Right. And so,
and I don't want to not share, but I'm not going to say names or anything, but October 17th of this year, 16th, October 16th of this year.
I know that because it was Graham's birthday.
Yeah, that's right. And guys, you'll learn in the podcast that we've experienced, if you see behind me, that we have a shrine of all of our family, and just
our spirit bench.
Yes, that's our spirit bench. I love how you say that. But, a lot of our family have died on, for example, my mom's birthday, or someone else's birthday that's in our family or something. So this tragic event that I went through on October 16, 2025, rest his soul, he's no longer here, but I watched my friend commit suicide in the backyard, and it was just a very tragic event, and my heart goes out to his family and everyone like that. But to touch your point, people saying, oh man, Zac, he's made for something. No. I've been hearing that since my accident.
I know.
And I know how you say, oh, I didn't want to say that for the pressure, but I felt that pressure since then.
Yeah.
And that's what's been hard for me, is being like, dang, I'm still.
What is it?
Well, not even what is it, but more or less I still haven't felt like I've achieved what I was designed or brought on this earth to do.
Sure.
And that was at 18, and I'm 26. We're coming up on a decade since then, right? So that pressure I've felt that pressure. It's gone easier as I've gone through life, but it's definitely still there. Yeah. Now, given this past event, the pressure has kind of gone away, and it's more or less okay, I'm just going to focus on myself, McKenna, getting my physical right, my mental right, and then us doing this. So that to me is what's important now. So that pressure has kind of gone away because now I know I have this like this unconditional love and this support system, which I'm very fortunate to have.
Well, I think sometimes you have to be reminded. I've told you that before, right? Like, because you'll say, why does that keep popping up? And a lot of it's either one, because the lesson hasn't been learned, or two, it's just something that you need. You know, sometimes we just need a kick in the ass and we need to be reminded, right? Like you need a kick in the teeth. Yeah. Like, I might need a tap on the shoulder. You need a kick in the teeth.
So what, like, because you've always said that. You're like, I remember when, and this has always resonated with me still to this day, when I got drugged at that, the Christmas or the end of the year party.
Yeah.
And then you said, well, Zach, like, your lessons are physical.
Yeah.
Your lesson. I remember strictly crying to you on the phone, walking into the mall, and I'm like, Mom, I'm going through withdrawals, whatever the fuck went into my body is coming out, and I'm emotional. And you're like, well, Zach, your lessons are physical.
Yeah.
So why do you think that is? Is it stubbornness?
Well, I don't know that stubbornness is the right word, but yes, you're stubborn. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But I just don't, you've never been the type of person that you can casually say to, well, gee, Zach, maybe you should do it this way. Or, you know, I mean, you went to the party, you know that you don't drink a cup off of a counter, or you know you don't pull a cup off of a tray, or whatever the situation is, and you did it anyway.
Yeah.
Because that's just what you felt like doing, right? Well, that was the result of that, right?
Sure.
So, you know...
is that a good trait to have, though, to like...
Well, if you can handle it, it is. I mean, you seem to be handling it. I mean, who knows what the cracking point's going to be. I mean, it's not good for me because I have heart attacks. But, I mean, you bounce back, right? And I don't mean to say that you're just like, oh, or whatever. But, I mean, you seem to be able to rally and overcome it, which is that's a good trait.
I was having this conversation with someone, and I don't know what it is, but I don't know if it was with you or with someone else, but I was telling them, like, someone said, like, oh, I'm so sorry that you went through that. And I was like, why?
Yeah, no, it wasn't with me, but you told me about it.
But I was like, why, though? Because, like, I'm very fortunate that I went through the things that I've been through because it made me the person who I am today.
Well, it's a natural reaction to say, wow,
I'm sorry. Yeah.
You know, I'm sorry for your loss, or, you know, but, you know, I also think that whenever you're ready to share all the things that you've experienced, right, it's like nobody knows what has happened to build you up to this, right? But, you know, I would say, I mean, not all the things that you've gone through have been to because of your own choices.
For sure.
But a lot of them, like in the earlier parts of your life, right? I mean, I can remember sitting in the hospital with you, and I was like, Zachary, and it probably wasn't the best time to say this, but I was just like, Zachary, you have got to get your shit together. This is another lesson of how you need to pay attention. And you were like, so I need to be pulled out of a burning car? And I was like, well, apparently so, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, because even that was a big event, but that wasn't your awakening, right?
Sure.
I mean,
for sure.
And think about all the things that you experienced since then.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
And so, I mean, and then you go, oh, well, I had to watch my friend shoot himself in the head. Like, I have to experience that. Sorry for the graphic nature of that. But, yeah, I mean, that's the kick in the teeth. That's how you are. I mean, I can't tell you the number of times we as parents have said, you know, he just doesn't listen. You're not someone that's going to listen. I mean, you're gonna take it in advisement. Okay.
I think I'm the kind of, and this is just speaking from my experience, but I think I'm the kind of person that's like, no, you're wrong, and then I'm gonna do it my way, and then I always come back and say, damn, Ma, you were right.
Well, you like to your famous last words when you were younger is, I'll prove you wrong. And I don't know if you remember what my response to you was.
I don't remember saying that.
Oh, you used to say it all the time.
Would you say, I hope you will?
No, yeah, I used to say, I hope you do. Please do. Prove me wrong. Like, that would be the best outcome for this, is if you do prove me wrong.
Well, you know, the famous line that I know, Zachary, when have I ever been wrong?
Well, that's recently, yeah.
But it's true. I mean,
because it's
but that's not arrogant. Like,
No.
it's not arrogant because you're
It's
speaking
not.
from the heart and you're speaking from my highest and best good.
Yeah.
which I'm very blessed to have because, you walk through this world and nobody fucking gives a shit about you. Genuinely, they don't care. They got too much of their own stuff going on. But, to have someone in my corner like yourself who is going to keep it a buck with me, keep it real, keep it raw, tell me when I'm fucking up, even if I don't want to hear it and accept it, but still just, there's been times where I'm just like, I'm so mad that you said that, but I'm just like, damn, I needed that. And it hit.
And I also know that when you do realize that I'm right, I know you're just like, your most recent relationship.
But you just heard, I just heard you the other day. I think it was yesterday when you were making tea. You said, man, the older I get, the more and more I understand my mother.
Oh, I mean.
Do you think that's a common thing as we get older in life?
I think for some people. I mean, I don't know about for everybody. I think it depends on the relationship. I think there's people out there that go, oh, God, I'm becoming my mother, and they don't want to become their mother. I had a great upbringing, so I'm not ashamed to say that. But I was very frustrated at the end of Graham's life because she was not the person that I knew raising me. And so when at the end of her life, she just got progressively more angry and more depressed, and the life that she lived. And when I'm saying that, I'm thinking more along the lines of, I wish I had more grace for her and the sadness that she was experiencing, right? Like, how sad was it for her to lose her child? And, she was a mother and a wife since the age of 18. She didn't know anything different. And then
but that was the thing back then.
It was a thing back then, but it doesn't change the fact that at some point then you are alone. Like I moved away, my brother moved away, my sister died, she was alone.
But isn't that when you lean on your partner even more in that relationship?
Well, and they became that's another thing.
They were attached at the hip.
They became very codependent, which also wasn't healthy.
It's not healthy, in your opinion?
I mean, it depends on how deep it goes.
The only time I saw them separated was when he rest his soul, but when Grandpa Bob would go get a fish fillet sandwich and a Diet Coke and an ice cream.
From McDonald's, right? Yeah, I know. Or when she would come here by herself first.
Which was rare, though.
Well,
and then he would drive up.
Yeah, I mean, every time they came here, she came first for a week, and then he drove up and spent the last few days.
Yeah.
And then, but when I say she was codependent, or they were codependent on each other, Graham was literally a different person when he wasn't around. Like,
really?
Yeah, Grandpa Bob would walk through the door and she would light up. You know what I mean? She would be a Christmas tree, and she was so happy. It was like her safety zone. I get that.
But what's crazy though? I've seen things and I've experienced other people that they're a completely different person when they're not around their partner, but in more of like, oh, thank God.
Oh yeah, no. She was. It wasn't a oh thank God. It was. I think it was a sadness. I mean, there was a deep sadness, and that I didn't appreciate and understand. That I wish I gave her.
Well,
I wish I appreciated it.
I can't imagine. And for those who have lost a child, no parent should. And I'm speaking from a father myself. You're a parent yourself, but no parent should ever experience that. No. But I definitely think that their relationship grew more fonder, and they became, in a sense, I don't want to say it, but like trauma bonded, like in a sense of where they were like, I guess, like you said, codependent, but they felt like they needed each other to live through life.
Right. Now, absolutely.
But do you think, and like you said, you've already answered that, so no. But you don't think that's healthy? No,
I think it depends, right? Like, I think you can be codependent on your significant other or someone if you still have some sort of a life outside, right? Like Grandpa Bob, like you said, he left the house, he socialized or whatever it was that he did.
Yeah.
Graham she became a hermit. And that is not healthy. You can't sit in your home and become a hermit and let everything crumble around you, and the only thing that lights up your life is the person you're codependent with. That to me is unhealthy. The fact that
is that depression?
Oh, yeah, she definitely was depressed. I mean, I don't know that specifically is depression, but yes.
When you hermit crab and you don't go out.
A lot of times, yeah. I mean, those are typically signs of that, And I used to say to him, I think Mom's depressed. And he'd say, Well, no, I asked her. Well, she's not going to go, yeah, I'm depressed. I mean, she would.
Yeah.
She was too proud of a person. She would never admit it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's kind of, and I know these are very two different things, but there was a person at the gym yesterday. The dogs got locked in the car, and I called him over the overhead, right? Hey, I need someone with this Subaru, blah, 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 come to the front. And the person who told me about the dog, they said, hey, did they ever come? And I was like, well, they know they're doing something wrong. They're probably not going to come to the front and admit that they're wrong.
Right.
Just like as in Graham, she's too proud of herself.
Yeah.
Is that ego?
Sure. Yeah. 100%.
So what is ego to you?
To me, what is ego? Mm-hmm. I think ego is when comes from a place of fear, in my opinion. And
really, from a place of fear.
Yeah, I mean, think about what ego does. It drives it drives a false reality, right? Like,
explain that. Because when
so,
I think of ego, I think of like the picture that comes to my head of like some like Conor McGregor type of like big strut, I'm the best, no one's better than me type of thing. And like that to me doesn't come off as fear, that comes off as like cockiness, not confidence, right? But in a sense of like their shit doesn't stink.
I mean, yeah, that is a portion of it. But I mean, when I think of someone like Conor McGregor, I mean, he is the best, so he has the right to say that.
But
like,
don't you
he's
have to have an
earned
ego?
that.
Don't you have to have
No,
an ego?
you have to have confidence, which is different. Ego is things that are driven by ego are typically negative. When you think about the ego, it's a negative emotion. It's like I have to overcome something, so I'm gonna create this. I'm gonna create this alter ego. Mm-hmm. Right, to get me over the hump of whatever this is or whatever, and it's usually negative base, at least, and it's usually someone like narcissists. They come from, it comes from ego.
That is, yeah.
The ego drives a narcissist.
Okay.
So think of it that way. Like, I mean, you use Conor McGregor as an example. He's earned the right to be able to walk around like that. He is the number one MMA fighter in the world. Yeah. Right? So he is well within his rights to do that. If I walked around, people would laugh. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is like, let's just say that we were sitting here and we were talking and I gave off this aura of, I know everything. And so I'm just going to spew my soul to the world because I have all the knowledge and all you wonderful people out there should listen to me. That's ego. Yeah. Right? Like that's not even confidence. Mm-hmm. That's just negativity.
But isn't that cocky?
I mean, that's just another word. But sure. I mean, I just think that I just think when you think of ego, I think it's a negatively driven emotion.
So, because I think it's super important that I've heard this before, and I think I've experienced it myself, and just from my perspective. But do you think everyone has to go through an ego death in order to kind of reach that new level within themselves?
Ego death.
Have you ever heard of that? Really?
No.
So there's people out in this world that will have an ego. And they'll be tested by the universe, tested by God. Yeah. And one thing, guys, that you'll know about my mother and I, we are very, very spiritual. Like, we are very, very spiritual. Like, and I want to say this to you.
Not religious.
Spiritual. Yeah. There's a difference, guys. If you don't know, that's another topic for another discussion. But I heard this one quote, and ego stands for etching God out, or in a sense of etching the universe out, right? Like in a sense of like, again, your shit don't stink. Yeah. Right. You think you're better than exactly. Exactly. So I think like there's people out in this world, me, myself, I used to think that my shit doesn't stink. I still probably do at times. That's why she's laughing. Okay. But I think like people go through an ego death. There's certain people that go through what's called an ego death in order to realize that, you do need to rely on a higher power, on a, to think that you can do it all yourself, you're out of this world. You're insane.
Well, again, I think that's a narcissist, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the definition of a narcissist, right? So, but go ahead. I didn't mean to.
No, I mean, that's really...
I haven't heard the term ego death.
That's crazy.
I guess what that would mean is another word for another phrase for awakening, right? Like,
yeah, that's fair.
You know, like someone who's just realized that they just whatever their lifestyle is all about is just not going to work to this point. You know?
Yeah, I hear you.
And they need to make a change.
So I know we're kind of going all over the place, but like I love this kind of organic rawness. Like I think that's what makes us so pure, and I think people gravitate towards that. Even when you and I have these kind of conversations around our friends and our other family, they're just like, "Oh my God," and then they ask questions. So it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
But I do want to ask, like, what do you want people to feel after listening to each one of our episodes?
I just want them to feel good inside. I want them to feel safe. I want them to feel not alone, right? I think what happens in life is we get caught up in the minutia of life, and we get caught up in the
minutia.
What ifs, like what if this doesn't work? What if people see it and they make fun of us? What if we have terrible comments? What if they hate us, right? That's just examples for this. But, people I think they get caught up in is like, what if I don't work 100 hours at work and I can't accomplish all my tasks?
Did you struggle with what ifs growing up?
I don't think I really did. I don't think I really struggled with what ifs. I mean, I think when I became a mom,
even when you had no job, no house, like you were losing your house, you were losing your job, being a single, like that's to not have like, what if we're on the street?
At that point, at that point didn't even matter. I mean, it had all happened, right? Like, what was I going to say? Yeah. Like there were layoffs. What if I get laid off? Shit. I'm freaking unemployed. I mean, like, it's not that I wasn't, I mean, I think of, of course I thought about what if, but it all happened. So once it all happened, I was like, well, I mean, what can I do now? Like, shit, I'm unemployed. I'm losing my house. I'm about to be homeless. Your dad is putting food in our freezer because I can't afford to feed you, and what, so what if, right? Like, yeah, I mean, but as a 20 something or no, I mean, I've thought about, I think it's natural to think, oh gosh, well, what if, here and there. But I think when it consumes you is when it becomes unhealthy. I mean, it would be odd if you went through your entire life and didn't think about, well, what if this happened? Or what if,
it's human.
Yeah, it's a human emotion. It's a human thought.
But just like you said, right? Like if you let that consume you.
Yeah,
so for people that do let that consume themselves, like what kind of advice or like what kind of practice would you, or what would you say to someone like that? If I was a person that was like, oh, what if this, what if that, what would you say to me?
I would say, what if to
Really?
you to see what you say. So then if you came to me and you were like, what if my roommate commits suicide? Like, okay, well, what if he does? What's going to happen? Right? Let's go through the scenarios of what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You're going to have to move out. You're going to have to find another place. You're going to have to, you know what I mean? All the shit that we went through, all the things that we did. And then look, where are we? Right? Like, not to minimize that.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
not trying to minimize
Absolutely.
that.
But it's more or less of not like, well, what if, but it's like, well, what can you do?
Yeah, like what are you going to do about it, right? Like and I really had to learn that lesson when I lost my job, lost my house, lost my car, lost everything.
Is that when you were just like you just like?
Yeah, I mean,
because I know you share the story about like there was a point in your life where you just, and if you want to share that story, go a little bit deeper for those who don't really know a little bit about you.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I went through a phase. I mean, this was just one phase, but I went through a period in my life where I was a single mom and I had lost my job, and it was in 2009, I think, when the housing market crashed, and it was back when Bank of America was scamming people, and they would offering refis, and then when people were trying to refi, then they would say they lost their documents and then they didn't get them in time. That's why they had to pay back that huge lawsuit.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so
is that why you don't like them at all?
I hate Bank of America. So, but so I got caught up in. I wouldn't say that I got caught up in that particular scandal because I really didn't. I mean, it was really my own thing. But what was happening across the board is people were losing their houses. They couldn't afford to pay for them, and nobody was buying them, so they could put them up for sale. And then no one was buying them, so people were stuck with these houses that were way overvalued, and they weren't making the money off it. That wasn't what happened to me. What happened to me was I just lost my job and I couldn't afford to pay for anything. And I was unemployed. I mean, I was getting unemployment, but I was at the maximum of the unemployment, which was like $275 a week. And then they had the audacity to tell me I wasn't at the poverty level. I'm like, seriously? How is that not poverty level? Anyway, but yeah, I mean, it went from bad to worse, and I lost everything. And I had no choice. But, I had a wonderful friend who I have to give kudos to that helped me through a lot of that in the spiritual realm of things. And I'm not going to call out names, but you know who you are. And if you hear this, you know who you are. And he guided me through, he's the one that started my journey through all, this whole series of events. And I literally had no choice but to ask. I mean, the human folk in my life, and this is nothing against anybody in my life at the time, but the humans in my life, nobody could help me. I mean, what were they going to do? I mean, your dad's pitched in a lot. He came and put food in the refrigerator and the freezer for us and made sure that you were okay and all that kind of stuff.
Do you think it's anyone else's job to do it for you?
No, I don't think it's anybody else's. But the point I was getting at is that we were in this position where we were suffering, and I had no choice at that point. And that's when I realized I need some sort of savior. I hate to say it like that, but like I needed something to grasp onto. I needed some sort of hope.
And is that when you started your spiritual journey?
Well, I'd started a little bit before that, but that really catapulted
and led
me.
you to that person.
Yeah.
Do you think everything, all that we've been through, has led us to this point to start this podcast?
100%. Yeah. I mean, imagine if we hadn't gone through anything and we were sitting here talking. People were like, who the hell are these people and why are they talking?
Well, I'll tell you this, because one of the questions I wanted to ask you, and I know I wanted to ask you, what is it like doing something like this with me? Because I'll tell you this, right? I never would have thought that you and I would be doing something like this, but also at the same time, I don't feel like I've been through enough life experience. I'm only 26, but I listen. I know you're going to disagree with that statement, but I also don't I don't necessarily, I'm not in a financial position to talk about certain things like that. I'm still struggling with, I wouldn't say struggling, but I don't have as much faith in certain things as I would like, right? I'm still there's still things that I would have liked to go through. Like for someone like yourself, you've just, Mom, you don't understand. People look at you and they talk about you and they're just like, this woman is perfect.
Well, I don't, I mean, why is my life any more ready for this than yours? I mean, it doesn't matter that you're 26 and I'm 57. I mean, who cares? I mean, when I was 26, I hadn't really gone through anything.
I just feel like I have so much
you
to
do.
learn.
You do, but I hope it doesn't come in the same fashion as the first 26.
Well, let me ask you, why? How could it not? If that's how I learn, though, is through physical.
Because maybe
you'll learn the lesson.
Maybe you've gotten mature. Maybe you've matured. Maybe this is God, the universe, whatever your thoughts are there, whatever it is, that's, is realizing, okay, he's getting it now. And you'll be tested for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But what'll happen is you'll get small tests And if you don't respond to them,
Do you think they start small and then they get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until it's like a
course,
smack?
how many times have I said to you, pay attention to the signs? Like,
Yeah.
are you, hello?
But that's so hard to hear because, like, especially for me, and I don't know if you know this, but I'm an information junkie. I love learning new things, but I'm also the kind of person that you'll say, look out for the signs. And I'm like, where?
Like Grandpa Bob. He used to like look out the window and be like waiting for the light post to blink or something.
So for someone who also goes through that,
Yeah.
like, because I know there's people out there that are also like, I'm so fucking sick and tired of hearing someone say, look out for the signs. Look out for
Everything's
the
a sign.
But
Everything is
how
a sign.
can you okay, and this is one of the questions that I've had to deal with, right? How do you know the difference between a sign that's positive for you and a sign that's sent from the devil? Like, how can you figure out the difference? Because I'll tell you
Well,
what.
I think the devil is always testing you to see if you're going to go over
how do you
to
know
the
it's
other
not a
side.
test from God
It
himself
could be.
or the universe?
It could be. I mean, who cares what the test is from? You just the challenge is to rise above and find the love and the peace in it. So it doesn't matter whether the test or the challenge comes from the devil or God or whatever the situation is. Excuse me. The challenge is to overcome it and become a better person and hopefully share the knowledge. It's, that's the whole theory of paying it forward, right?
Paying it forward.
The whole, I mean, this is a form of paying it forward, right?
Well, for me, I'll tell you what, honestly, why I was like so keen on doing this with you. Truthfully, this is a healing thing for me.
Of course.
This is like
100%
this is
it would
so
be.
healing.
I can totally understand that.
Is it healing for you as well? Or is this more of like what is this for you?
This is me helping you in your journey.
Okay.
And anybody else, I wouldn't say it's healing for me, but I enjoy it. I enjoy it. And why do I enjoy it? Because I like to talk about this stuff. I like to pay it forward, so to speak. I was blessed with a wonderful teacher who taught me all these fabulous things that I continue to rely on and confide in and talk to. And I feel very blessed that God put him in my life and he's taught me so much. And I think it's my responsibility to take that knowledge and pay it forward. And, actually I said to him the other day when I saw him, I'm like, I'm going to share the knowledge that I have, obviously not in the same way he does, because he has a different gift. Mm-hmm. But I still think it's important to, what good does it do if you have it and you don't do anything with it? Right? So I understand that it's healing for you and you're still learning, which is fantastic. But it's eventually going to become a pay forward thing, which it is already. I mean, there's no other way to look at it. You're paying it forward right then and there.
But what about the other teachers that you've had in your life?
Oh, I've had all kinds of teachers. You mean but specifically about spirituality?
Were the other people that were in your life that impacted you, would you say they were spiritual?
Yeah, but the lessons were different. Like if I think about people who have been in my journey career-wise, one specific individual who was like a second mother to me, and she took me in under her wing, and she was a amazing teacher. She taught me things like taking care of yourself and wanting more and allowing yourself. She's the one that taught me
that you were made for more.
Yeah, 100%. But she saw something in me that I didn't see it in my 20s.
Most people, though. I think that's most people, though.
Yeah, I mean, she saw something in me. She was in her 40s. I was in my 20s, mid-20s. And she took me under her wing, and she groomed me. And I was like her little, project. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean, she was well-intended.
For sure.
And we developed an amazing bond.
Yeah.
She's part of my spirit bench. God rest her soul. Mm-hmm. And, but yeah, she taught me all kinds of lessons. I mean, there's all kinds of lessons to be learned. They don't have to be all spiritual.
Yeah. So I hear this, I heard you say that now in this chapter of your life, it's about paying it forward, right? Sharing what you've experienced and went through to someone that may need help. And there's this one quote that I love, and I kind of want to hear what comes to mind when I say it. But the quote is, God often calls you to set others free in the areas you fought the hardest in.
Say it again.
God often calls you to set others free in the area you fought the hardest in.
Well, yeah, because the harder the lesson, the deeper you learn, right? And the more impactful it is, right? So think about what you just went through. Mm-hmm. What was one of the things that you said to me the other day was the best and worst thing that ever happened to you? Best in the sense that it brought you closer to your faith. It made you realize the love that you have in your family with me, Dad, everyone,
yeah.
Dad and his wife, and your friends, and it really made you realize, this. You didn't want to come home, right? But think about what a blessing it's been, right? Like, it was a challenge for you. Oh, I'm 26. I've been on my own for the last 6 years. I don't want to go home, and I don't want to live with Mom. Well, you're remembering what it was like living with Mom at 16, 17, 18 years old. You didn't know what it was going to be like living here as an adult, right? And then, and that was where you were headed anyway at the end of the year, right? So this gave you the opportunity to force you to do it, right? And
which sometimes the universe does.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to be forced into a situation sometimes, and then it opened your eyes to the blessings in it, right? Like, what a blessing it's been.
It's been a journey.
So when I hear that statement, I think of, we're called to help someone heal based off of the lesson that we struggled to learn, because it was think about any lesson you learn, it's the most having a baby at 19, right? Like, what a big lesson was that?
Yeah.
Right? Like, you had
still learning it.
Right, of course. I mean, I am too. We all are. I mean, there's no book for parenting, but the point I'm trying to make is, like, the lessons are endless. The lessons are endless, and the harder the lesson, the more hopefully the more you pay attention to it, and the more impactful it is.
Well, you know what? When I hear your story, and I don't want to compare, but I think there reaches a point, like you've said, to where you just, and I'm using your story as an example, but you'd share about how you literally fell to your knees and you're like, just like, I surrender. Like,
I can't take it
anymore.
I've just had enough. I can't take it anymore.
I've never felt that. Like,
good.
But is that good?
Sure. I mean,
because then I feel like in that sense, when you did that action, you were literally saying, I surrender full control to the higher power, and I trust in you, and you're going to guide me and do whatever. But in a sense of, I still haven't experienced that or have done that. So in a sense, am I still operating out of, like, I'm going to do it my way versus, do you kind of understand what I'm saying?
Well, I think you're, first of all, I think you're analyzing it too much. It doesn't need all that thinking, right? I think what you're looking for is, am I going down the wrong path? Do I need to fall to my knees to make this work? And, no, I mean, everybody's journey is different. That's just my path. That was my journey. That doesn't mean that's how it's going to go for you.
Well, sometimes, like, I will speak to the higher power, and I will, sometimes when I'm praying or just having conversation or dialogue, sometimes it feels like I'm faking it just to get a response from the higher power. Like, it doesn't, in a sense, feel genuine. Like, I'm doing this so I can see the sign.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, then why are you doing it?
Because I feel, I feel like I need to. Like, there's been time, like, even yesterday, I was outside and I was like, look, I want to have this conversation and dialogue with you. I want to get closer to you. I want you to use me as an example. But at the same time, I feel like I'm just saying it to say it.
Why?
I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird feeling. And and then my brain goes crazy.
That seems to me like it's just you questioning yourself.
But then it goes back to what I was saying earlier is like, is that questioning? Is that the devil trying to poke his way in?
I mean, but here you go down the rabbit hole.
That's what I'm saying. I analyze and I dive deep, and it's an issue. It's an issue.
Let go of it.
Let go.
There's no, I mean, at the end of the day, like, who cares what you say, how you say it, who you say it to? If the words you're speaking are genuine, were the words you were speaking genuine?
I mean, they felt genuine, but also it was like,
so then what's the problem?
I don't really know.
I think you're just overthinking it. I mean, first of all, I get people who will say to me, how do you stage your house? Or how do you get rid of, like, what exactly do you say? Well, I say whatever I want to say. Like, there's no script. I get the sage and I go, I go around the house and I say whatever it is I'm going to say. People might think I'm crazy. I mean, if someone was looking in the window, they'd be like, what is that crazy lady doing with that smoke? Right? And I'm like, be gone, evil spirit, whatever. I mean, it's all about whatever is comfortable with you. Like, you have to do whatever works for you. So if it doesn't feel comfortable or genuine, whatever you're doing and saying, then don't do that and say that. Say something else. You don't have to pray like every day or anything.
Yeah.
I mean, you pray when you want. If you feel like you need to do it, if you don't feel like you need, I mean, this is your journey, your experience. You do it however you want. There's no rules. There's no rules.
Do you think society nowadays makes it harder for people to realize that this is your journey?
100%.
Why do you think that is?
Why do I think that society's like that?
Well, why do you think that it's gone down a direction to where people feel like they have to live a certain way versus just doing what they feel like is best for them?
Because it's what you're programmed as a child, I think. I think it starts with your childhood. I mean, I think if you wake up every day in a household that's like Betty Crocker land, like, that's what you think your life is supposed to be, right? Like,
you don't know any better. You don't know what you don't know.
Mom's got on an apron and, she's baking bread, right? I mean, or if you are raised in a household that's a little bit more unconventional and that you're allowed to be free, right? I think that it starts there. And then what happens is, you look at our generation gap, right? We were raised, you go to school, you graduate from high school, you go to college, you get a job with corporate America, blah, blah, blah. Your generation is like, fuck that. I'm not doing that. I'm going to do whatever the hell I want. I'm going to become an entrepreneur. I'm going to.
Has it proven right, though, to go like that?
I mean, it depends on the individual. I think there are certain times when, yes, you do need schooling, and then there's certain times when they don't, right? I mean, I think that I don't think it's for everybody. 100% I don't think it's for everybody. But I think that...
What do you think it's wrong for... Okay,
so... But the point I'm trying to make is that, again, that's the programming, right? Yeah. So So I was raised, my father was a corporate America, he bled General Motors, right? He was very staunch, very conservative, very rigid, very structured. You look at my brother, that's exactly how he is. He is a spitting image of the way my dad was, because he was raised by my dad. I am a spitting image of how my mother and Bob were. I was raised by them. They were more carefree. They would have loved if I went to school. They would have loved if I did my homework. They would have loved if I got an A on a test. But it didn't happen.
It seems like when I hear those two different stories, it's almost like your parents, your mother specifically, let you kind of go down your journey and figure it out versus your brother, where it was like, you have to do this.
Yeah.
So for someone who feels like their family is forcing this way of life, because I've told you this in the past, like there's been times where I feel like growing up when I was younger, dad wanted me to live a certain way. He wanted me to go to college and do this and have that college experience and that just was not what I wanted to do.
Right.
So what would you say to the audience or people that like have those types of household? How can you kind of navigate through this world when you have those types of family?
Well, I want to call out a couple of different things here.
Yeah.
So I think that there is the type of parent who is very structured and rigid, and they want them to do it because that's how they did it. It's generational, right? Mm-hmm. I think when you think about your dad and how I can't speak for him, but my thought would be because he had such an amazing experience,
he wanted
you to have the same experience. So it's different. It's a different dynamic. It's not a controlling, like, oh, you need to do it this way. It was more of, I would love for you to experience the life I experienced. So just keep that in mind when we're talking about this. So I think that there are people who, like, even to this day, if you were to say, like, I was not worried about disappointing my parents. Like, even if I made a mistake, I mean, there was nothing worse than disappointing Bob. You know, that was just awful because he was such a good man.
When did you disappoint Bob? I couldn't imagine you.
I mean, if we got in trouble or whatever, like, you know, sneaking out of the house or whatever, and he caught us, and, you know, he would, you know, be upset or whatever. And that was,
I feel like he'd be like, don't tell Graham. I got your back, but don't tell Graham.
No, not when he had to be called out of bed in the middle of the night to come get us somewhere, right? Like, no, that was not a good look. But I guess the point is, like, if you think about how they raised me, like Uncle Rich will say to you, you raised Zac the way you were raised. You are given enough rope to hang yourself, right? So, look, here's the advice that you're going to be given. We're going to team up and we're going to partner together, your dad and I, and we're going to make a decision and say, this is your advice. What is Zac going to do? You know, he's going to, whatever. And then, whatever the experience is, and then you might come back and go, okay, well, you were right, I'm going to do it this way or whatever. But you were given the autonomy to be your own person. And that is that is not always granted with a lot of people. And it's unfortunate. I mean, look at the relationship you were just in. You know, unfortunately, they were not given the autonomy to be their own person. Their life was very structured, very rigid. They had a very negative upbringing, and that was the experience that has come out in that individual at this point in her life, which impacted you, and, you know.
So do you think the programming, regardless if you want it to happen or not, it's going to happen? But do you think it's important to, at some point in your life, to rewire that programming that
100%,
fits you?
You have to.
So what does that look like?
Well, that's different for every person, and some people.
What was it like for you? Did you have
I didn't really have to, because, you know, like, I knew that my lifestyle was not approved. My dad did not love my lifestyle, right?
Even like towards the end of his life?
Oh no, not then.
Okay.
I'm talking about younger years, right?
Okay.
Because I wasn't following the structure, right?
What did he want you to do?
Well, just, you know, like, be a little bit more, pay better attention in school, not have a stupid boyfriend, you know, don't be a cheerleader, and, you know what I mean? Like, have some structure and some goals. I mean, I didn't have any structure and goals until you came along. Like, life was just like, blah, 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 you know, whatever. We're just going to live life. I mean, you know, I had a ton of friends, and we were always doing whatever we wanted to do as we were growing up as teenagers. And then our 20s was a mad, crazy life. And then you came along, and that's when my life became structured. And that's when Grampy started to really realize what I was made of, because he saw what I started going through, right? Like what I had to experience, doing it on, you know, being a single mom, working. You
parent more like your mom did?
Well, Mom and Grandpa Bob combined.
Really?
Yeah.
What was like one of the best takeaways that you've taken away from both your mom and Grandpa Bob?
Well, my mom was a crier. Like, I got caught cheating in high school on a history test, and I remember her looking in the window going, oh, you know, like it was the worst thing that ever happened to her, that my daughter got caught cheating. And I was doing exactly that. Like, seriously? I mean, whatever. I was in in-house suspension, and I got an F on my test. I could have cared less. And that bothered her. Like, why didn't I care more? Like, I should have cared more. That didn't
So
bother.
when you used to find out that I was cheating in school, were you like,
I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, apple doesn't fall far, right? Like, all right. Honestly, I could have cared less. I just wanted you to graduate. Don't you remember I used to be like, make best friends. Be the best friend of the nerd in school. Like, that's what you got to do. Make
yeah, and
the
I
nerd
did,
your
and then
best
I ended
friend.
up selling the fucking test answers.
Well, you always took it a step too far. There was always a step a little further than it needed to go. But, and then Grandpa Bob was the type that was like, I would, just like with you, I would come to him. I give you the example, the story about me and one of my friends, and we were going to travel across country, right?
Love this story.
We had the whole thing planned out, and we were going to go in her red Trans Am, and she had a T-top Trans Am, and we had this whole thing planned, and we're 18, and we were going to travel across country. And he was like, that's a fantastic idea. And we were like, yeah? He's like, how are you going to pay for gas? We were like, what do you mean? How are you going to pay for gas? Like, how do we pay for gas now? Like, gas is always in my car. Will it not always be in my car? And then, like, how are you going to eat or where are you going to sleep? And then he decided to tell me his story about how he traveled across country and he sold pots and pans door to door. And me and my friend looked at each other and we were like, what? Like, we're not selling pots and pans, huh?
There was that other girl at the school. She only got like $3 or something. You're like, what?
Well, that's a different story. But you know who I'm talking about. You just don't. You're not thinking about it. But I don't want to call anybody out. But you met her at Kelly's funeral.
I met so many people there.
Yeah,
There's a lot
and
of people.
also Mom. She's been around. But anyway, we had a lot of fun and we did a lot of crazy shit. And
pots and pans.
And that was definitely not on our agenda, selling pots and pans to door.
I don't think what was the end result? Did you end up like looking at your friend and being like, yeah, we probably shouldn't go? Or like,
yeah, well, instead we went out and partied and got shit faced and then we got in trouble for drinking and driving. And oh yeah, that was a whole nother story.
At least you had gas in the car.
I know. Yeah. So not our brightest moment. And then the next journey was we were going to live together, and then we got in trouble. We were supposed to be in one place, we weren't, and we got caught drinking, and that was a whole nother thing. But
it's a lot. It's funnier to hear the stories about like the drinking and stuff, and like how partying was different from nowadays. Like,
oh yeah,
it's insane.
Oh yeah,
people get.
No, I mean, we get off the bus after a football game, and half our friends were already at my house playing quarters with Bob at the table.
What, quarters?
Quarters.
What is that?
What?
Quarters?
Seriously, you don't know what quarters is?
Like where you bounce the quarter into the cup?
Yeah, you bounce the quarter in the cup.
Into the shot glass or whatever?
And then if you get it in the cup, you drink it. Or if you don't, I don't remember. Or you just drink, I don't know. But anyway.
You just drink.
They'd be like playing quarters and we'd walk in and everybody would be playing quarters and everybody would be drunk. I mean.
Your house was the spot?
Yeah. Nobody was allowed to leave if they couldn't drive. Obviously if, Bob always took the keys. But now you can't, like when Kimmy was growing up, you couldn't do that when she was growing up.
It started then.
It was started with, then you'd get in trouble. Now the parents will go to jail.
Yeah, it's scary being a parent nowadays.
I wouldn't want to be a parent, like of a young child. Yeah, I hate that for you. And I mean, I love it for you, but I hate it, yeah.
It's scary. I think about it from time to time and I'm just like, we got all these furries and
yeah.
Oh my God, school shootings and it's just horrible. It's awful. Why do you think the world shifted so dramatically, though? Do you think it's from technology and social media?
Sure.
Or?
Yeah, all of that.
I also think that, like, the kids are going against what the parents originally want them. Because I feel like growing up back then, you kind of just did exactly what your parents said. There was no rebuttal because there was no other option. But now just having access to the internet and social media, I mean, there's 16, 15-year-olds making more money than their parents currently. So it's hard as the kid in that situation to want to listen to them.
I mean, that's true. But like you said, even though you're only 26, you've got an entire life to live. Mm-hmm. So what's unfortunate is they just don't know what they don't know. right? They're too young and they're not mature enough to realize that it doesn't matter. There's still a life out there for them to learn. Money isn't everything.
Yeah.
Just because you make more money than me or whatever the situation is, doesn't make you smarter than me.
Yeah.
I have lived 57 years.
Yeah, and it's crazy you say that too, because there's actually been videos that have been surfacing recently on my page and stuff where there's kids younger than me and younger than like a sophomore in high school. He's like, I have every car that I've ever wanted, the house, I've retired my family, I can eat wherever the hell, I got all these clothes, and I feel empty.
Right.
Like, I feel like I have nothing else to live for.
Well, there you go. This has come full circle. That's exactly what we talked about in the beginning, right? Like, made for more, you can have everything materialistically, but yet nothing. But, think about people like Gary Vee, right? In his videos, he will say things like, we're so quick to make fun of my generation or even older than us who don't know how to do so. I mean, we laugh at me all the time when I'm on the phone and I can't figure out what I got to do or whatever. And we're the ones with all the knowledge, right? Like, just because we don't know how to do all this technology crap doesn't mean that we don't have the knowledge of what life is all about. And that's what's missing in those young kids' lives. The parents or the grandparents or someone is not stepping up and saying, yeah, you might be a money generator, but you don't know shit.
Yeah.
Because you haven't experienced anything.
Mm-hmm. There's a famous quote from Bob Marley, and he says, some people are so poor, all they have is money.
Yeah. I mean, sure. Right?
And that, when I heard that, I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Because, growing up, especially, and I don't know if this was the same for you, but at least in my generation, after going through the car accident and having that, and people saying, oh, you're meant, God's got a plan for you. Oh, you're meant, da, da, da. And then you open your bank account, it's negative $300, and you're like, oh yeah, mate, yeah, really? There's something for me out there? Really? Well, not really.
It's hard.
And that's where.
But think about it. If being poor is one of your big lessons, right? Not having any, I mean, shit. I used to rob Peter to pay Paul. I tell you that all the time. I mean, it's different now. You can't do it the way I did it, but you don't pay the electric bill, so you can pay the gas bill this month, and don't pay the gas bill next month because you paid it. You don't pay. You can't get away with that now, but that's how it used to be. But the point I'm trying to make is it makes you appreciate when you do finally have the money, right? So when you start to generate that income, you're going to be happy about it, right? You're going to appreciate it, and you're going to respect it, right? So
that's a good point.
I can remember Graham saying to me, she said, it's hard as an elder in her age. She's like, you don't have the money when you need the money, right? So think about that. When you're raising the kids, you're poor. A lot of times, most people are poor when they're raising kids and in the trenches, and then they move out, and then you start, and like I told you, I didn't start making money until I was in my late 40s. I was almost 50 years old before I started making good money.
But I would have never,
So that whole time, I mean, poor.
Well, you did a very good job of hiding it.
Oh, well, I mean, that's what, I appreciate that, but sometimes I wonder, maybe I should have been a little bit more open with my struggles. But I was raised like, Graham and Grandpa Bob never wanted me to see any of the struggles, right?
But not even just financial struggles. Like, I don't think especially for me, like, I don't want McKenna to see the struggles that I go through.
But I don't know if that was the best way. Because then it almost puts you on a pedestal that's not existent. You know what I mean? Like, I think sometimes you forget how hard I work. Now that you're living here, you see and hear me, from sun up to sundown, I am stretched, right? I mean, it's going. But I don't know if you coming here, you would have recognized that. Maybe you still haven't recognized it. I don't know. But, I don't even think I needed to live here to realize that, because just hearing you say the words, and it's a joke, but I know there's some truth behind it, but I'm going to work till the day I die. Like that. And that's because I'm a spender.
Well,
that's my own fault. I have to work till I gotta die because I like to spend my money. I like to have nice things. I like to have a nice car, a nice house, nice clothes.
I mean, it's worth it though.
I mean, it is, but is it really the smartest thing? Because I'm ready to quit work.
Well, this.
I'm ready to quit.
We can keep doing this. It's gonna help, man. I think this is a beautiful thing what you and I are doing, and I think it's a blessing. Like but at the same time, it's a blessing because of the work that you've put in.
Well, that we've put in.
Yeah, but at the same time, right? Like, I don't necessarily know that. Yeah, I guess you could say that we've put in, but
I mean, I think you're discarding because you think, oh, I'm only 26. Who's going to listen to me? Zac, you're 26. I mean, think about what you've gone through, right? Like, but you're a lot like I am. You're very resilient. So, like, I had to be reminded not too long ago the shit that I've gone through, right? Like, because I'm a fixer. All right, so, yeah, I had open heart surgery. Oh, well. I mean, like, yeah, like they cracked me open like a lobster, opened my body, and, went inside my body from chest, from neck to belly button, and, cracked me like a lobster.
Did I ever tell you the story about when they brought you out after the surgery?
Well, how you...
Well, you remember you told me you wanted to document everything.
Yeah,
right?
How you said you were almost fainted.
They were pulling on that thing on your neck. Oh, my gosh. You looked dead.
I know.
They wheeled you out.
I know. I saw the pictures.
It's awful.
I wanted to see the pictures, though, because I wanted to see what it was. I wanted to see the journey. I wanted to see what happened. I wanted to see where I was and where I started to where I finished. But the point I'm trying to make is there are certain people in life that go, oh yeah, I mean, I went through it, but like my first reaction is, well, didn't have childhood cancer, or I didn't have to have chemo. I didn't, it could have been. I'm always thinking it could be worse, and it could have been, but that's not to discard what you've gone through.
Now, I heard you, because I asked this question earlier about, well, I didn't ask, but I stated that this podcast for me, or even just discussions, even off camera, like the conversations that you and I have are very healing for me. And this is one of the reasons, this and alone is very healing for me. Mm-hmm. And you said that you wouldn't say this is healing for you, but would you say at this current chapter in your life or this current stage, are you still healing from certain things?
Oh, sure. I think part of our lessons are, it's a healing journey.
Can you ever be fully healed though?
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, I think that we can be healed, and I think it's our responsibility to work towards healing. But I don't think you're ever like, oh, I'm healed. Like, I have no, you know what I mean? Because you never know what's going to, like, I mean, we all know I suck at relationships. What is that about? Like, there's something that needs to be healed because I'm not good at it. I get a bad picker and I suck at it. Right? And is that a good trait? Well, not necessarily. I mean, yeah, it's worked well for me because I've accomplished a lot, and I've done things my way. But is that always the best way? I don't know.
I don't think you would be the person you are today even if you weren't like this. I can say this with confidence that if you were in a relationship with another man while I was a child, growing up, you and I would not be doing this to this day.
No, well, I agree. I mean, I don't think that any of it would have worked the way it would. I don't think the dynamic between your dad and his wife and I would have worked the way it did. I don't think any of it would have worked because it would have been an outside influence. I did it the way I wanted to for me. I've told you that before. You said, why didn't you do it differently or whatever? I chose me.
Do you feel like it was the right decision?
100%. I wouldn't change any of it.
There's no regret?
No.
Really? Mm-hmm. Do you regret anything currently to this day?
I don't regret that I didn't choose wisely at a younger age and do a better job of understanding what relationships were about at a younger age.
Relationships aside, do you have regret? Does Christina
I don't
have
know
regret?
that the regret's the right word. You hear me often say, I wish I had appreciated my mother more before she passed. I wish that I had.
But you're starting to appreciate her now.
Yeah, but I always appreciated her, so maybe that's not the right words. But I feel like I didn't give her the respect that she deserved at the later part of her life. I think I judged her. And I shouldn't have. And that's not a regret. It's just something I wish I did.
What were you judging her about? if you don't mind.
Well, no, I don't care that you ask. I mean, well, it was just hard for me because she was just this dynamic. And I've used this as an example for you before. Imagine if you walked in and all of a sudden saw me living in like this shitty house with a shitty attitude, and I looked like shit, and I was unhappy, and I was, nothing brought me joy. I was just very like, everything was, well, okay, all right, this too will pass. Like I didn't have any emotion, and the house was a mess. And, you know, like your biggest fear with Jax coming in here was that it was going to cause a problem. Imagine if Jax came in and I just let the house go, and you know what I mean? Like you'd be like, that's not my mother.
Yeah.
Right. So I went through that with her. It's like, she just was not the person that I knew.
And
she was so dynamic and so alive and so, willing to do anything and everything. But, you know, it just wore her. Sadness just wore her down. She was just so sad. And I didn't appreciate that for her. I didn't understand it. I didn't respect it. And I should have done a better job of that.
Why do you think she was never able to get over the sadness?
I wouldn't be able to get over the sadness if I lost.
Well, maybe not. That's maybe not the right way I'm asking it. But there, just like you said, like, there comes a certain point where you just kind of have to accept it.
You do. I agree.
So,
and they did a good job of that. And I think they fought their way through it. I mean, you know, Kim's been gone for over 20 years. But I think that, again, she was always a mother and a wife. Her whole life, she was a mother and a wife. And then, you know, my brother moved away. I moved away. My sister died. And she was no longer, you know, I basically grew up here in Atlanta. I mean, yes, I've always said this to you. Yes, you know, it's like childhood to like your 20s. Yeah, you're growing up, but it really happens in your 20s. So I got here. And that's when I was, you know, that's when life started to really happen for me.
Would you say that like you were alive, but life actually you started to actually live?
I blossomed because I had no choice. I was on my own. I was paying my own bills. I came here and got married at an early age, and that didn't work. That was a freaking disaster. And then I got divorced at an early age. Then I met your dad, and we had a great time. It was a ball of fun. And then, you know, I became a mother, and that's when, you know, I mean, I had to grow up. I came here and I had to grow up. I mean, no one was going to pay my bills. I was the one that wanted to move to Atlanta. They weren't going to say, "Oh, sure, go live in Atlanta."
Why Atlanta?
Let me pay your bills for you.
Why Atlanta?
Because you'll understand this because you've said it too. I just wanted to go somewhere. I really didn't care where I went. And I just knew that there was something else out there. I just knew that there was more than Lynnfield, Massachusetts. And so I was like, what am I going to do? The only thing I need really is to make sure I have a job. The rest of it will fall into place. So I went to my boss and I was like, I want to move. I just need a job. And 2 weeks later, she's like, well, I've got a job for you in Atlanta. Okay.
What was Atlanta like back then when you moved down here? Was it just, did you live in the city?
No, I moved to Alpharetta. Mm-hmm. I lived in Alpharetta most of my time. And then at one point moved to the south side. So I lived in Jonesboro for a while. I know. Like, could you see me in Jonesboro? Sorry, people.
Not today.
On the south side.
Shout out south side.
I mean, maybe back then because I was a little flightier or whatever. But, and then I moved back up to Alpharetta. And I've been in the Alpharetta area the whole time until I moved to Swanee. And then I came up here. But I always lived, your dad lived in Sandy Springs, so we stayed there a lot. There was a lot, but back in the day when we were your age, Buckhead was where it was at. I mean, it was crawling, like the bars, and you just walked from bar to bar, and you took a taxi, or whoever was most sober, you get in the car. Like, that's horrible. That's the worst thing
We're
ever.
not advocating drinking and driving.
Absolutely
not at all.
not even close. But, you found your way home. Now you guys have the Uber app, so you should be a little bit more responsible. You can Uber, you get a taxi or someone, drives you home.
Ubers are expensive.
I know, but if you're out drinking, it's a lot less expensive than a DUI or killing yourself or somebody else.
So very true.
That's a whole lot more expensive. But back then, gosh, I just remember you got there at like 10. You pre-game somewhere.
Pre-played.
Party, all day, drink all day, and then you get a ride to wherever you're going, party all night, go home, pass out, rinse, repeat.
What was this is so random, but what was your favorite drunk meal? Meal or food?
Oh God, like Waffle House or something.
Really?
Yeah, we always went to Waffle House. Yeah.
That's never changed. I think majority of the people that are drinking.
But the worst thing is, I'll never forget going in a Waffle House in Roswell with you as a single mom, sober for the first time. I'd never been in a Waffle House sober. I walk in, and I'm with you, and I looked around, and I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe that I've ever set foot in this place before. And I literally made you get out of your chair, and we left. I was like, this is disgusting. It was the Waffle House in Roswell off of Roswell Road.
Talk about being privileged. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Guys, we go to Waffle House now, too,
Yeah.
still. We love it. We love it now. But that's hilarious.
I haven't been in Waffle House in a long time. I went that one time with you guys, but I haven't been to Waffle House. I like Waffle House.
Do you like their food?
Do I like their food? Mm-hmm. Not really.
Really?
I don't really even eat.
Oh,
though.
my gosh.
But I don't eat anymore.
Texas
so.
bacon cheesesteak or cheesesteak bowl, cheesesteak melt. Ooh.
You used to get smothered, covered, chunked, right? Whatever that is. Well, I don't even know what that is, right? What is that? Just like chili and cheese on something? So,
on a hash brown.
So disgusting. So gross. God, it's so disgusting.
Man.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I know.
Well, look, we could sit here and go on and continue to chat. I think where we're at and what we discussed has been beautiful. Is there anything else that you would like to share before we kind of wrap on up?
No, I think that this was a good start to our journey, and I look forward to people engaging and comments, and I look forward to hearing what the audience would like to hear us talk about.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Because we could talk about anything. Throw us a topic, and we'll talk it to death.
Yeah, guys, in the comments down below. And also on our social media. Our Instagram is mfm.podcast. Made for More was already taken. And then if you go on our YouTube, comments down below. Drop your topics, what you want us to talk about, things you want us to cover, any questions that you guys may have. This woman sitting in front of me is so knowledgeable. She's so wise. And I know I may be biased, but I have learned so much from her. And I continue to want to learn, and even doing something like this, I'm going to take away something from every episode. And that's what I hope is for you guys as well. I want you guys to I know you kind of talked about what do you want people to kind of walk away with when they hear something, but for me, it's more or less refresh, uplifted, happy, motivated, and have a little bit more faith in themselves.
Yeah.
And know that they are truly made for more.
Yeah.
And you don't have to settle or be complacent with where you are currently in life. And if you think that this is it for you, I'm here to tell you it's not, because shit can change in the blink of an eye. It's happened to me, it's happened to her, it's happened to probably yourself
Everybody.
too. So
life changes.
I want to say we kind of open up on the foundation. We kind of got a little bit of backstory about one another, and I kind of want to talk about letting go on the next episode.
Okay.
Reason being is I know we kind of briefly talked about it, about how you were going through one of the hardest times in your life, and you literally fell to your knees and you were like, I just had enough, and I surrendered control. And that is an act of letting go.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to dive a little bit deeper into that next week, talk about your experience, and then also talk about what it's like from my experience. And because there's been certain things that I've had to let go. It hasn't been to that extent, but like you said, there's no point in discrediting what I've been through. So, guys, if
you've had to let go, you've had to see,
sure.
There you go again.
No, I'm saying I don't want to discredit.
Yeah, you gotta, because you've had to let go of a lot.
You know what? I sit and I think, man, and
Because if you didn't let go, then you wouldn't be moving. You wouldn't be able to move forward. Think about
but
you got to let
sometimes-
go of all those. Remember that day when we were in the car and I said to you, Zachary, you have got to forgive yourself for the choices that you've made and the things that you have done. If you do not learn to forgive yourself for those things, you're going to carry it and it's going to be a weight on you.
But I also think I'm very good at suppressing it and pushing it down and then just working,
That's okay.
like
That's
distracting
okay, but-
myself with the work.
Well, that's okay as long as you're working towards letting it go.
Yeah, well, that's
you're just not calling it that.
Yeah. I'm going to share something with you because I don't think I've ever told you this. But in the past relationship that I was in, we would go to church regularly. They had an AA group thing, and I went there for work, strictly for working. Like,
What do you mean for working?
oh, hey, I'm Paul. I'm an alcoholic. Hey,
No,
I'm
you
so
told me you went there.
I did?
Yeah, you told me you went to
Okay.
one of the
I didn't know
classes.
if I told you that, but there was like a point where I was just like consuming myself with work, and that's all I ever thought about and wanted to do.
Oh, I see.
But you see my point? Like
You-
that in
you
a
did that to work on. I mean, and you know what? That's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about that recently too.
That's true. That's true. Well, do you have anything you want to say before we let the people go?
No.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to our first episode of Made for More podcast. I'm your host, Zach.
Krissy?
And guys, we will tune in next week. We're going to be talking about letting go. Drop your comments, questions down below. Also, we haven't decided what we're going to talk about on week 3, 4, 5. So let us know down below what you guys want us to talk about. Any questions, topics. If you liked it, you didn't like it. If you want us to do more, just give us some feedback, positive, negative. We don't care. At the end of the day, we're still going to be doing this. So, Mom, I love you so much. Thank you so much for doing this.
I love you, honey.
Until next week. We'll chat.
Next week.